What's up, Facebook Live? Good to see you. Let me see if I can get this sharing. Hopefully you all are having an amazing day. If you know someone who needs some awesomeness in their life, invite them to join us for this live chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome as you're tuning in. I would love to know 3 things you're grateful for and where you're tuning in from. Welcome, everyone. Nice to see you. Happy Monday. Thank God it's Monday, says Eric Thomas. Hopefully you're having an amazing day. Excited to be here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Seeing those numbers. Oh, there they go. Numbers are starting to go up. So welcome, everyone. Nice to see you. As you're tuning in, love to know 3 things you're grateful for, as well as where you're tuning in from. I'm excitedly keeping a short list on the side of all the cool places that people come and check these videos out from. Today we're talking about finding your passion, igniting your passion, and random acts of kindness. So, Zach, morning from Sydney. Good morning, Sydney. Nice to see you. Get this cranking. Let me grab Matthew, Orlando, Florida. Welcome. I like the way you spell your name. It's pretty cool. Let me get the audio set up. Stuart, afternoon from Fort Lee. Good afternoon, sir. Hit record. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, that number is still growing, so as it's growing, welcome, everyone. I'd love to know 3 things you're grateful for and where you're tuning in from. Crimadad Mind. Anila, good evening from Newcastle upon Tyne, UK. Kyle, hey, Jairek Robbins. Hello, Kyle. So, here's what we're going to do. Let's get started. Hey, everyone, welcome back to the Learn It, Live It, Give It podcast. My name is Jairek Robbins. I'm your host. We're also doing a Facebook Live for this, so if you're on Facebook Live, welcome. As always, I'd love to know 3 things you're grateful for, as well as where you're tuning in from this evening, this morning, this afternoon, whenever it is you're coming across this. We have people tuning in from all over the world. So far, we have Newcastle upon Tyne in the UK. We have Sydney, Fort Lee, Orlando, Florida. People from all over the world. Crimadad says he can't hear me. You can't hear me. Well, I suggest you might refresh because that normally helps if you're having any challenges listening into this. Now, for those of you who are here, I'm excited today. We're talking about 3 different topics, and they're all going to intertwine together. But the very first topic is finding your passion. Stuart, thank you for letting me know it's coming through loud and clear. Finding your passion is number 1. Number 2 is igniting that passion. You know, once you find it, that's one thing, but how do you actually step into it and go do something with it? And how do you bring it to life? And here, crazy question. How do you bring it to life if you have a full-time career that you're actually good at? Do you just ditch your career and go chase your passion because that's what everyone else is doing and it sounds cool? Or does your passion become your hobby you do on the side and it's something you just love being a part of that ignites your heart and soul on fire, brings you to life at the highest level and causes you to be better at work and better in your relationships and everywhere else in your life? Or is there some other way to ignite it and bring it to life as a career, as a passion, as a hobby, as a side project? There's tons of ways to do it. And then the final piece is once you've really identified that passion, once you've totally brought it to life and you're living it in many different ways, the final piece is random acts of kindness. And I just saw a beautiful, beautiful video from Florence, the Florence and the Machine, the band. Florence went and sung to a young girl in hospice after one of her concerts. And it put tears in my eyes. It's really amazing that when you're living your passion, you're ignited, you're really bringing all of who you are to life, to just remind yourself to stop and take moments. And this is for everybody. Stop and take moments and go do a random act of kindness for somebody, like singing to them in their hospice room or, taking food to someone who's hungry or just listening to someone who needs to be heard. And what's amazing is the beautiful, beautiful effect you can have on their life, and you can make their day, if not make their life, better in a whole nother way just by taking... Oh, we're back. So with these thoughts, let's start with finding your passion. Finding your passion. So this is a fascinating topic. We get emails from time to time because of what we talk about and how we talk about it. People are searching and they reach out to us and ask us, how do I find my passion? And, how you find your passion would kind of differ depending on what stage of life you're at. If you're 18 years old or 15 or 17 trying to find your passion, my suggestion, go try a bunch of stuff. You're young enough where, go get a summer job, work 2 or 3 different jobs, and just tell them I'm searching for my passion. I have an inkling or, I have a gut feeling that this might be it, so I'm going to do this for a while and really give it my heart and soul and see what I produce here. Now, I'll give you a clue. While you're trying to find your passion, the key is to show up with every ounce of your mind, body, soul, and spirit, meaning make a decision that the standard at which you show up is if I'm going to do something, I'm going to give it every ounce of who I am as a human being. And that way you really get to know what it's like if you give it your all. So many people go try something and they half-ass it, they give it a kind of a good try, they give it their best shot, and they're like, I don't know if I really like it. Well, the truth is, you never gave it all of who you are. You never put 110% of who you are into it. And I heard it said, Eric Thomas, who's a friend of mine, he was saying, if he decides to go give a speech for $300 at a school, he's going to give it just as much focus, just as much intensity, just as much passion, just as much effort as if he was giving a $100,000 speech to a corporation. Because if he is going to do something, he's going to do it with 110% of who he is and everything he has inside of him. If you bring that standard to everything you do, you'll get a much different experience of it than if you just gave it your best shot or, tried hard. That's very different than giving 110% of who you are to whatever it is, whether it's sweeping the floor or cleaning a window or cleaning a toilet or driving a bus or, being a banker. I don't know what you're doing, or starting a company. But really, truly, if you decide to do something, just give it 110% of who you are, purely because that's the standard in which you show up. Here's the fun, odd, crazy part about that. When you're willing to give 110% of who you are at anything, you tend to get a whole different experience of what it is you're doing. And, really, truly, a whole radical different experience of what you're doing. Because so many people half-ass it, give a little bit of effort, and they miss out on the beauty of it. They miss out on what it takes to really deliver. Sue, what's up? Nice to see you. I don't know anyone personally about the Lyme disease that you mentioned the other day, Sue, but I'm asking some friends who've gone through stuff like that. If anyone listening live knows anything about Lyme disease or has some great tips or insight, please send me a message. I'd love to know. So, but hope you're doing well and everything is amazing. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And so this very piece about finding your passion, if you're at a young stage of life, or here's the other piece, a transitionary stage of life. So this could be you've worked 30 years in corporate America and you're transitioning into something else. This could be, you've owned a business for the last 40 years of your life and it's time to find the next big passion in life. This could be you've been a parent, so you've had a child and they're growing up and they're leaving home and it's like, well, now I've got some extra time. What do I do? Or it could be 18 trying to figure out how do you start and where do you go from here. So if you're in a transitionary stage, my very first advice for most people is to go try as many things as you can get your hands on. And try it in different places than you normally do. So if you live in a little town, try doing work in a different city for a little bit of while. Try moving to a different city for 3 months and see what it's like. Try traveling around the world. And a lot of people will be like, oh, yeah, sure, if I had the money, I would do it. Trust me, I volunteered at first to travel. So I figured out how in Thailand you could volunteer and teach English. They'll let you stay there for a month, and it'll cost a total of like $20 a day, I think, and that includes 2 meals plus a place to stay, $20 a day to live in Thailand for a month. It's a pretty good freaking deal. So it doesn't take a bunch of money to have to do it. You got to save up for the flight. I remember I met a kid who was backpacking around the world at 18. He had saved up $1,800 for his entire trip, and he worked all summer to save it up. And at $1,800, he took a trip all the way around the world for I think like 4 months or something. So it's possible. You just got to get resourceful. You got to get creative, and you got to get out there. Now, if you're willing to do that, you can go get a lot of experiences. You could try working odd jobs. There's a friend of ours, Jairek Rivkin, who has a ranch called, I think it's La Jolla del Sol, Jula's son. I'll have to double check on that. But he's down in Costa Rica. If you Google Jairek Rivkin Costa Rica, he'll pop up. And he lets people stay on his property. He has like 50 acres of rainforest. It's beautiful. If you're willing to help out each day, meaning you work for like 4 hours a day, he'll give you 2 meals a day. He'll prepare it for you. And you're welcome to stay there. If you want to bring your own gear, so you bring your own tent, you bring your own platform and all that stuff, he'll charge you $10 a day to stay there. And if you want to rent his gear to stay there, then it's $20 a night to stay there. It's an amazing place out in the middle of the rainforest. You can travel there for $20 a day if you didn't even bring your own gear. It's pretty cool. There's lots of ways to do it that we do it. And that's how we travel everywhere. Airbnb is a great tool, tons of stuff. So that thought, get out there, try new things, experience stuff. And what you're looking for, there's been a lot of these like cool Venn diagrams you see. And the one that stands out the most to me is, what does the world need? So big circle. Now here's Yoli, it's Jairek Rivkin, Rivken. Roz, what's up? Roz, yes, you could do that in Australia. So if you start big circle, what does the world need? Now, here's something to be fascinated about. What people need and what they want are two very different things. Because if you went to go buy a car, what do you really need? Transportation to get to point A to point B. Many times you don't even have to buy a car. You could use the bus, you could use your bike, you could use the tube, the train, the subway. There's so many ways to get around, but people still want a vehicle, want a car. You don't have to have one, but people want one. And not only do they want a car, if I said, which car do you want? A Prius or a Toyota or a Bugatti or Maserati or whatever Audi that exists, or Eni. So whatever thing you want. Now the truth is you only need a simple vehicle to get you from point A to point B, but most people desire or want some special, fast, strong, big, fancy, flashy one. Not everyone, Sharon. Some people, screw it. They want a moped, and that's cool for them, or they don't even want one. But you got to think about it. If you choose your category, so let's say you're into adopting orphaned puppies. Do you want to give them the food, you cook up random vegetables out of your garden for them, or do you want to buy them the best puppy food you could buy? Now, considering it's a multi-billion-dollar market that people go and spend on their pets every year, people tend to buy their pets the best stuff for some reason. Outfits and collars and all this other stuff. They buy puppies and cats. And you go down any category. Maybe it's your health. You always have to have the premium, most healthy version of something. Maybe it's travel. I always travel first class. Maybe it's your kids. I always have to get them the best education, the best of everything. There's always some category of life that people have a standard they have to uphold. And it's what you want versus what you need. What you need, we don't need much as human beings to really survive and thrive. That's true. We don't really need a whole lot. But what's trippy is we usually desire a whole lot. And it's not because we were innately born that way. Many times it's because we've literally sat through decades and decades and decades of marketing messages telling us what's good, what's bad, what's better, what's worse, what's the best, what's okay, what's amazing, and what's average. And therefore it's training our brain. If you just had one of these, then you'd be cool and amazing and everyone would love you and chase after you, blah, blah, blah. And so it ingrains in our nervous system, and it's part of the cultural piece. If you took a Gucci bag to the middle of a village in Africa that's never seen one, they don't really care or know what it is. I mean, they'd flop a fish in it because it's useful to carry a fish in it. And, a woman in New York or a main city would go, oh my God, you don't put fish in that. Why the heck not? It's a bag. That's what it's for. You carry stuff. And so we're conditioned that something's good or bad. Now, circling back to where we started here, what do people need? So it's fascinating. If you really, really do your homework, you got to look for what does the people need. And if you want to be successful, the key is you got to look for what they need, but you also got to look for what they want. And it's got to be this interesting blend of what they really need, but also what they really want. Otherwise, if you're looking at this in how do you turn your passion into a business, people don't necessarily buy what they just need. They buy what they need blended with what they want. So in this first circle of a Venn diagram, you got to think, what do they need? What do they want? And where's the blend there that really truly represents value? It's what they need and what they want. And when you can get it together, boom, it clicks. Danny, people need fulfillment. Not really. Walk through most cities. You meet a lot of people who aren't fulfilled and don't really give a flying flip about fulfillment. They care about eating food tonight and finding shelter. And fulfillment's great, but fulfillment is a higher level piece of consciousness. So if people aren't taking care of those base needs, they really don't care about feeling happy and fulfilled. It's trippy. Can you post your diagram on your page? I will bust out my sticky notes for you and see what I can make. I need a Sharpie. Danny, I'll be honest, I hope people want fulfillment. The truth is, when you hang out with more and more people from all around the world at different stages and moments of life, you realize not everyone really needs it. They just want, a lot of people want it, but it's a higher level need. If you look at those, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's not on the bottom there. The base level needs of food, shelter, procreation, water, safety are the base level, and if they don't have those, being fulfilled and passionate and blissed out doesn't really matter. So this first kind of Zen diagram, Joey, thank you, is, what do people need and mixed with what they want. And we're going to throw 3 in here. So I hope you love my awesome drawings. But part 1, what do they need? What do they want? So when you're thinking about your passion and you're looking around you in the world, in your city, in your community, whatever whatever community you're a part of online, these people, if you're a part of a localized community, a part of your church community, a part of your National Forest Association, I don't know what you're part of or where you hang out, but whatever you do, your yoga community, you want to look for what do they need and what do they want. And you want to look for the blend there that kind of covers both. They really need this, and they really maybe want these other things as well. So you want to make a list. So if I were giving an assignment, if you're someone looking for your passion in life or want to ignite more of your passion, the first list that captures what do these people need and what do they want. And when I say these people, I'm talking about your community, society, people around you, people that you can reach in kind of arm's length. So if you have 1,000 or 500 friends on Facebook, what do they need? What do they want? If you have a city that you live in and you're connected to everybody, what do they need? What do they want? And just keep a list. Just ask people, if you could have anything in life, what would it be? And write it down. What else would you want? Write it down. What else would you be interested in? Okay, what do you really need, though? Okay, write that down. And then just capture it and keep a list. That'd be the first list to keep. The second list to keep is, what are you good at? So if I were to draw in, let me see if I can redraw this and make it a little bit more symmetrical for you. So we got circle 1, circle 2, circle 3. So we have want, need. Second is good at. So for those of you taking screenshots, what do you want, what do you need, and what are you good at is the second one. So the second list you're really gonna write is, Roz says, list 1, what do they need, what do they want, and write that down, so go ask them. List 2, what are you good at? So this is some soul searching. There's a movie coming out here in the US, I forget what it's called, it's like Mrs. Abigail or something, and it's a lady who sings her soul out, but if you watch the preview, she is not very good at it. And so you can still get away with not being good at something if you do it with so much ridiculous passion that it's infectious because people love you for how much you're trying, not because you're actually good. And if you're looking for something that you want to use as your business and your calling, like you might get a random a random outlier of someone who makes it because they were so passionately trying that people just love them from enduring them, and just that endurance connection where they get connected. Florence Foster Perkins, that's the lady. So that thought of what are you really good at, and you can substitute with passion, but if you want to stick with what you're good at, what are you talented at? And just work backwards on this one. Say, where have I excelled in life? Do I excel with people? Do I excel with programs? Do I excel with learning? Do I excel with running? Do I excel with health? Do I excel with science? And you can just look at what are the things you are naturally drawn to that when you're around them, you tend to do really, really well for no reason except for you just get it. I'm always impressed by people that do really well with memorizing scientific things. It blows my mind. That is something that it takes a lot of brain energy for me to wrap my head around. The lobes of the brain, the neurochemicals in our body. Like, it takes a lot of effort for me to memorize and get that stuff. But with people, easy. It's a cakewalk for me. It doesn't even feel like I'm working. It just feels like I'm hanging out because I'm really good with the people aspect of situations. And so understanding people, understanding their world, understanding what they're about, understanding why they're doing what they're doing. It's a lot of my background and training, but it's also something I'm naturally drawn to and good at. Now, I know where my boundaries are as far as good at. I'm good at the technical pieces of it. The gut instinct, I'm learning and practicing, because there's a lot of ladies out there, when you get around them, they have this innate ability. It's just a sense. Like, they can look at someone and feel what they're feeling, and they can tell you if they're bullshitting, if they're on track, if they're off track. Guys have this too. But ladies are innately really in tune with this, and I'm developing that side. I want to be able to get around in person and just by feeling their energy, being able to call bullshit where bullshit is, and guide them just by feeling the energy would be amazing. But that's an area I need to grow. So I know the technical aspect of it, able to teach them or walk them through it, entertain them with it, but not the feeling aspect of it. And there's moments where I've had it, but not all the time. So I want it all the time, where I could just kind of feel my way through situations. It'd be cool to do. Sharon, I'm very intuitive. So you'd be someone I'm in awe of, because I'm like, wow, how did you know that? How did you feel that? Where did it come from? Like, what did you do? And I try to understand that piece. Let's see, Danny, can you break it down to one core skill, talent, or have multiple? Oh, you can totally have multiple. I have a friend who is really good at, sorry, I keep itching my nose. I tried a new, probably TMI, but I tried a new nose hair trimmer, and it's leaving a fuzzy feeling in my nose. So the piece here, yes, you can have multiple passions, and you can be good at multiple things. So, when you think about what you're good at, I have friends who are great at like music and art, but also great at science, and also great at, doing crazy stuff, and also great at all kinds of stuff. So you can be great at lots of stuff. So again, just like the what do people want, what do people need list, keep a list, the second list, which is what are you good at? Are you good with people? Are you good at listening? There's not a lot of people in the world who are great at listening. There's a lot of talkers. I'll end up being a talker, but I also want to practice being better at listening. So that's something on my skill list where I'm like, I'm great at talking. I could improve at listening, like really listening. And that intuitiveness you guys are talking about, where you not only hear the person, but you understand what they feel like based on what they're saying. That's amazing to me. I'm like, wow, I could get better at that. Hold on one sec. Oh, hopefully that'll fix it. So I can get better at that. That ability to feel what the person's feeling based on what they're saying or how they're communicating. So that piece. So keep this second list. First list, what do people want? What do people need? Second list of what are you actually talented at, and keep writing down the list again and again and again. And then kind of rank it. What stuff are you passionately, wildly, crazily talented at, and what stuff are you kind of just okay at that you like to improve, and what stuff literally, like, it just boggles your mind that another human being can do that. And write down that list too, because these are areas you might want to improve on, or just purely for fun get better at. And it's not necessarily where you're focused, but things that you could get better at purely because you'd like to. And then the final list. So what do you want? What do you need? What do these people want and need? What are you good at? And I'm trying to remember what do you love? The final one is, what do you love? What do you absolutely, it might be spelled backwards because of the camera. I didn't think about that. But what do you absolutely love in life? What are the types of things you can go do that literally you disappear, time disappears, and nothing else matters in those moments? So what do you love? Where you literally just disappear into the moment when you're doing these types of things. And the whole theory here, let me fill it in, but this little circle right in the middle, this little triangle, I guess, is, I guess that's I don't know if you could see it. It's that little dark spot right smack in the middle. This is the spot you're aiming for. And what it's a blend of, what people need and what people want, what you're good at and what you love. And when you can blend that together, you have a wildly, wildly amazing experience each day. Because you're delivering value that's needed to the community around you. You're actually good at it. And you love the process. You just love it. And that combination, oh, it's not backwards. Thanks, Sue. That's good to know. So that whole thought right there, that's what we're aiming for. What do you love? What are you good at? And what does the world really need or want? And when you can hit that combination, it's absolutely mind-blowing the level at which you show up. So this piece right here, if you could take this and keep 3 lists in your journal. So kick out a journal. I'll challenge you next 10 days or tonight if you want to, or tomorrow, whenever you're doing it, depending on where you are in the world. I know we have Sydney, so good morning. First list, write down everything the community around you needs and wants. And you might split it in half. What do they really need, but what do they really want? From there, second list, what are you really, really good at? What are you just talented at that you're actually skilled at? Third list, what do you love in life? And look for the crossbreed, the Zen triangle that kind of fits right smack in the middle of those 3. And now we'll find something called your passion. Something you love to do, you're good at it, and the world needs it. And you can combine those things. And if that creates your passion, so I wrote it up there on the top, if that's your passion, then that's the fun part. We found it at that point. Now, once we found your passion, the next step is how do we ignite your passion? How do we bring this to life? How do we just bring your heart, your soul, who you are and all the aspects of being, how do we bring this passion to life? And the way you got to bring it to life is actually living it, doing it, applying it, getting out there. And so there's a really fun quote. Let me see if I can find the quote real quick. It's one of my favorites. All it takes is 20. It says, all it takes, here it is. Sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage, just literally 20 seconds of just embarrassing bravery, and I promise you something great will come from it. And it's from the movie We Bought a Zoo. It's one of my favorites. I'll read it one more time. Sometimes. So think about this with your passion. If you can identify these 3 things and that passion piece right in the middle right there, right, that little zone. And you're like, oh my God, I know what it is. I know what the thing is. And you're like, oh, but I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I want to. Oh my gosh, but what if people make fun of me? What if it doesn't work out? What if? To ignite your passion, here's the answer. Sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. Just literally 20 seconds of embarrassing bravery, and I promise you something great will come from it. And if you can remind yourself of that every time you feel hesitant to go apply yourself, or to step up and share, or to step up and deliver in that moment, anytime you feel like it might not work out, anytime you feel like it won't go the way you think, if you can just step back for a half second and say, wow, sometimes all I need is 20 seconds of insane courage, just literally 20 seconds of embarrassing bravery, and I promise something's great going to come from this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. 20 seconds, just go, 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 go. And what's amazing, if you can push through that 20 seconds, and in the movie it's a really cute scene where a young boy is trying to talk to a girl, and the guy says, all you need is 20 seconds of insane bravery to walk across the room and say hello. But it's true. It'll change your whole life. And so that thought right there, if you bring that to igniting your passion, so often you're going to be presented with moments where you find what you're good at, what people need and want, what you love to do, and you figure it out. And then you're kind of stuck being like, well, how do I apply this? How do I live this every day? How do I get this out into the world? What do I do with this? And in that moment, you're going to have little opportunities that show up again and again, whether it's signing up to go be on The Voice television show, or whether it's showing up to an art competition, or it's, standing up and putting your resume in for that job that you really want. Whatever it is that it's moments of life, little doors are going to open that'll give you that 20 seconds where you can step up and just go for it and really, truly, truly offer it up what you have. And when those doors open, you got to use this next piece, which is all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage to step up and just present yourself, show them what you have, put it on the table, tell them you can do it, figure it out afterwards, but step up and really present what you have to offer there. And then the last part, once you're able to get there, and once you're able to really, truly live it, and there's a lot of technical pieces I could walk you through on how to maximize your performance. People tell me, well, what if I don't want to do it as my job? You don't have to. You can do it purely as a side hobby on Sundays or Saturdays or Friday nights, like whenever you want. It does not have to be your job. You can go get a normal job, work 9 to 5 every day, come home, prepare for Saturday mornings when you get to go do what you're passionate about, and that's where you figured out what people need and want, what you're good at and what you love, and maybe it's refereeing t-ball. I don't know what it is for you, but that lights you up. Freaking do it every weekend. Why not? And it's that piece, because my belief is, even if you did it as your hobby, the amount of passion and life and purpose and excitement and joy and just the visceral aspect of life that would ignite inside of you would make you better at work, would make you better in everything you do, would be infectious to the people and community around you, and it would cause them to be their best selves and ignite a piece of them that might be sleeping or not quite at the highest level of life it could be. So that thought of, if you could bring it into life in yourself, you could ignite it in other people as well, which is the final piece, that random act of kindness. We started off, I was telling you about the 3 pieces we're going to talk about. The third piece, there was a beautiful video online of Florence from Florence and the Machine, the singer, who stopped by a young girl, who's a 15-year-old girl who couldn't make it to the concert because she's in hospice. And so Florence swung by her hospice room and gave her a private concert and sang to her. And there's something beautiful when you're living your passion and you know what you're great at and you're talented at it and you're doing something that's worth talking about in the world and you're delivering at a high level. And when I say worth talking about, it could be caring for people more than anybody else. It could be just simply telling jokes to people at the elderly home and making them laugh. It could be anything. But taking your talent, taking your gifts, and finding a way to just use them as a random act of kindness for somebody. You have no clue the difference it'll make in their day and sometimes their entire life, just because you take a moment to care and share what you're good at, what they need, what you love, and it's amazing. I mean, the biochemistry of this, if you want some technical information behind it, it kicks off oxytocin in the person who's giving, it kicks off oxytocin in the person who's receiving, and it kicks off oxytocin in all the people who happen to observe. It's amazing. It's why tears show up. It's the love drug, oxytocin, that kicks into your body. Some other ones do, but it's really, really, really beautiful piece that when you find your talent and you just look around and look for ways to give. I mean, I'm really proud of lots of my cousins, but one of my cousins specifically, he's incredibly, incredibly talented at playing the piano. And so he signs up to go play the piano at different times of the year at the elderly home just up the street from where they live. And he'll go play a concert for them and light up the whole place with his music. And it's beautiful. He's good at it. He loves to do it. He's great at it. And it's offering something that's needed in that community. And like, boom, it lights up the whole place. And it's such a gift to light these people's worlds up for him. And he loves it. It's fun. And so that piece, if you have a talent, if you have a gift, look around, and I challenge you in the next 24 hours to find a way to randomly go and surprise someone and to share that gift with them. Now, I'll give you a heads up. Not everyone's going to value the gift, but hopefully you found something that they need and want, and you're able to deliver it. The challenge is If you think they need it and think they want it, but you just show up and give it to them because you love it and you're good at it, you might get told no when a door slammed in your face because they don't need it or want it. So you got to be really aware of what people actually need and want before you go just randomly giving them your services. It's fascinating. You want to make sure it's needed first before you deliver. Danny, giving without expectation of getting back. Random acts of kindness, human kindness. Love it. Absolutely. And so that's our message for the day. If you have any thoughts or questions, I'd love to hear them or share them or answer them for you. And I think we have like 3 or 4 minutes left here. So Q&A time. Whatever you got, I'd love to see if I could be of service for you. But just recap real quick. First list is what do you need, what do you want? Second list is what are you good at? Third list is what do you love? And finding the combination of those 3 things. Part 2 is then going with that awesome quote, which is sometimes all it takes is 20 seconds of insane courage to go for it and make it the way you want it. So really stepping up in the moments where you see an opportunity to let that light shine and to really give your gifts and step up, show up and give your best. And the final piece is when you're kicking butt and you're really going and having fun and building like crazy, take times to go and surprise people with those gifts you have and light up their world. Faye, you're so welcome. Sharon, thank you so much. Have a great night. Christina, awesome message. Jairek shared. So here's my question to you. If you found this useful and there was something interesting in this today that you think would be useful for others to hear, or you know someone specifically needs to hear this, click that share button and hopefully pass this around for us and help other people get the message. We did say for all the people who shared a couple videos ago, we were giving away a book. We put all the names in the hat who shared. We picked one out, and it was Mr. Stuart Allison. So we reached out to him and let him know that we were sending a book, and he picked the one he wanted, so we're going to put that in the mail for him. And I like this message. Maybe we'll do the same with this one. We do it randomly. So for anyone who shares this message over the next 24 hours, if you click the share button and let people know, hey, watch this video because of... And we're back. If you click the share button on this video and help spread the message, what we'll do is I'll put everyone who shares for the next 24 hours, so 6:48 p.m. tomorrow, which will be the 24th, Eastern Standard Time. I'll stop it. I'll look down everyone who shared, and I'll put all your name. I'll write your names, put them in a hat, pick one out, and then whoever I pick, I have a big pile of awesome books. We have Ask Gary V. E-Myth Revisited, Money, Master the Game, Live It, Sleep Better, The Freedom Journal. We've got piles of awesome books from all of our friends that we interview and we've purchased from them as a gift or giveaways. So if you click the share button, Sue, I think you have to do it on your computer, or maybe go to my page after the live is over and it'll let you click share and share it. But for anyone who shares it, we'll put all your names in a big bag. I'll pick one out, and then I'll let you know if you won, and we'll let you know what books we have to offer, and we will send you one as a gift. So hopefully you guys have an amazing evening and day. I will see you all tomorrow. Till then, live with purpose. See you later. Bye.